Hi, I'm Rachel Cresswell.
I'm Steven.
Okay, I want to talk about the events that happened at Methodist Children's Hospital in San Antonio, Texas. Okay, long story short, 2 days before I gave birth to my twins, I was dismissed by the Metropolitan Methodist Hospital in San Antonio because the nurse told me that it was old blood, and I had left, and as soon as I started walking to the parking garage, I started bleeding like a river, and I didn't understand what was going on. Okay, so I went back home, and I got some sleep, and I went to the Christus Spohn Hospital in Beeville, where they actually did their job, and they discovered that one of the twins' bags had broken, and the placenta was detaching. So, therefore, they airlifted me back to San Antonio, but to Methodist Children's Hospital in San Antonio, Texas. Okay, I gave birth to my twins on April 22nd, 2018. The day after, okay, I signed myself out against medical advice because that is my right. Okay? And with the events that happened prior to giving birth, having to be airlifted, I didn't want to be in a hospital environment. So anyway, before I had left the hospital room, my husband went and asked one of the nurses if I was going to get any pain meds, and the nurse said no. So I left the hospital room, and I didn't think I was going to get any pain meds. So I went home, and as soon as I went home, my husband found some of his Percocet that he had took a year prior.
This was for I had wisdom teeth taken out, and I had a couple of oxycodone, which is substitute for Percocet, and I had a couple left over that I hadn't taken. So what I did was, to prevent her from having too much pain at night, I broke a pill in half. I gave it to her. She said that it works fine. It didn't mess her up or nothing. She said the pain subsided and that she would feel all right.
Okay, so I did this for about a day and a half, and during this time, I called the Methodist Children's NICU, and I asked one of the nurses, I'm sorry, I believe it was a nurse practitioner, can't remember her name, I wish I could, but I asked her if it would affect the breast milk, and she gave me like a wishy-washy answer. So I wasn't sure either, and I had made an appointment with my PCP, but it was the day after that. So the breast milk that I had pumped, I had threw out. Well, my next visit to the NICU, I had a CPS caseworker come and visit me, and he asked me about the Percocet. Now, in the CPS document, it says that the mother admitted to taking Percocet, and there's what did it say? It said the mother admitted to taking Percocet, and there's no way to know if the babies were affected by the Percocet use, and all kinds of allegations and accusations and whatnot. Now, first of all, if I was taking Percocet, if I was an avid user of drugs, why on earth would I call the NICU? Second of all, the CPS document makes it sound like I just called the NICU out of the blue and said, hey, I'm taking Percocet. Okay, bye. That doesn't make any sense, okay? What Methodist Children's Hospital wrote in the document doesn't make any damn sense. They're stupid. So anyway, I explained the situation to the CPS caseworker at the time. Okay, so I told him about the breast milk and why I'd called and all this and that. Whatever. The second CPS case was because my daughter Rarity has a heart condition called supraventricular tachycardia, SVT, and it's an abnormally fast heart rate. And she has to take a medication called amiodarone in order to control the heart rate. So I asked the doctor, and I exclusively asked Dr. Johnson. Yes, Dr. Katie Johnson. What happens if Rarity does not get the amiodarone she needs? What do? She never gave me an answer. The very next day, the CPS caseworker calls me, and she asked me about this question. Now, I don't have to have any kind of documents or anything to know that Johnson is the one behind the CPS case.
What hurts the most was that the reason we were asking these questions, we were asking what could happen if she wasn't given the medication, or because amiodarone is a compound medication. It's not a medication to where you can just go to Walmart or HEB, drop off the prescription, 15 minutes later you pick it up. This prescription needs to be sent off to an actual compounding facility. It needs to be mixed, and then it needs to be sent to the pharmacy where you filled it. This process could take up to a week, almost a week and a half. So whenever we do fill this prescription, we also have to make sure that we have enough to last us until we get the new batch. What we were concerned about is the first time, if we fill it too early, too late, and we run out, what do we do if we run out? Because we can't just go to the emergency room and they be able to give it to us, because it's a special mixture. So that was one of the things that we were worried about. But Dr. Johnson kind of beat it around the bush and wouldn't really give us an honest answer, which anybody that I've talked to, nurses, doctors, it's a legitimate question. There's a lot of times people forget to take medication or not able to get the medication. So we were wondering what might happen if she goes into an episode, which the episode is not life-threatening, but we needed to know if there was any home remedies to where we can get her to come out of it if we don't have the medication. But anyway.
Okay, so anyway, okay. I'm sorry, I skipped a case. That was the third case. The second case was because Dr. Johnson wanted to diagnose me. Okay, Dr. Johnson is a neonatal doctor that I was never under the care of. Okay, she doesn't know my history. She doesn't know what medications I'm taking, whatever. And not only that, but she with all the rumors that she was going by, I had signed myself out and I refused a blood transfusion because I was anemic. So anyway, Dr. Johnson wanted to diagnose me with postpartum depression. Okay? Because I didn't answer her phone calls at the ass crack of 7 on her schedule. Okay? This is what she told CPS. She told me that, that I need to be available and answer the phone in case emergencies happen. Yes, I see your point. I need to be available in case emergencies happen. But first of all, okay, an emergency can happen at any time. It can happen at 8 o'clock at night. It can happen at 12, 1, 7 in the morning. Anytime, any given time. So in all reality, you're telling me that I need to stay up 24/7 in case an emergency happens. And most importantly, you're telling CPS that I need to be on your schedule. Well, if that's the case, if that's what you're saying, then you need to send your work schedule to CPS so that I can get on it, so that I can be on your schedule. Okay? That's retarded. Okay? Retarded. Just fuck? Okay, anyway. The fourth case, and I'm trying to summarize all this, okay? The fourth case was because I was feeding Rarity, and one of the nurses had told me to stop feeding her after 30 minutes. Okay, well, I had no idea that she could burn more calories than she's taking in, because this was not explained to me the other several times I had fed her. And with 3 CPS cases already, I don't know what to think. I at the time, like, I don't, are they trying to limit my time with the kids? And not only that, it's like, are they trying to limit my time with the kids? And that way they can go call CPS and say that I'm not spending enough time with them, that I'm a piece of shit for a mother, or that I don't care. I don't know, because I have no idea. So I had the staff of doctors come over, and that's when they explained to me that she could be burning more calories than she's taking in. So I'm like, okay, whatever. They also authorized me to feed her an extra 15 minutes for a total of 45 minutes. Okay, the day after this, I get a CPS case, because it says that basically I want to overfeed Rarity because I want to go over the time limit. Now, why did you approve for me to have an extra 15 minutes and then call CPS because I wanted to go over the time limit? Okay, that doesn't make any sense either. They're trying to set me up for failure. Okay, I'm just so aggravating. Okay, fifth case. The fifth case was because, what was the fifth case?
This case was on discharge.
No, that was the overnight with Rarity. No, the overnight with Rarity of the fifth case was because my husband, okay, because Dr. Johnson said that Rarity was supposed to be on a 4-hour schedule. Okay, so at hour 4, my husband tried feeding Rarity. Okay, and he was trying to get her to wake up and eat, but she didn't want to.
The nurse actually came in and helped me try to get her to eat. And around the 5th hour, she finally started taking the bottle. And then come that morning, Dr. Johnson came in and said that we pretty much failed the overnight because she went too long without eating. But the way she made it sound with the head director, because the head director was in the room as well, she made it sound like that we didn't even try. When I did try. Well, I tried for over an hour. The nurse was in there as well. And when I questioned the nurse, she really didn't have anything to say.
Of course. And also, I asked Dr. Katie Johnson about feeding on demand, meaning feeding when the baby cries, when they're hungry.
Which 90% of all families do.
And not only that, but I don't know very many people who eat on a schedule, because I know I don't eat every 3 hours or every 5 or 6 or whatever. I don't eat every so many hours. Okay, I don't have no damn timer. Okay, that I set every so many hours to eat. Okay, so why is a baby any different? Okay, that's retarded. So I mean, she's not hungry at hour 4. She's not hungry when Dr. Katie Johnson wants her to be hungry. Okay? So, yeah, so basically Dr. Katie Johnson called CPS because my baby wasn't hungry when it was convenient for her. That's ultimately why she called CPS. Okay, anyway, case 6. Case 6 was the day of discharge. Okay, so I had Everest in my lap while I was in a wheelchair. and we discovered that the van broke down, and I wanted to get out of that hospital so bad. I had enough of these people, and not only that, but I noticed that Everest was having labored breathing, so I was concerned for him, and so I didn't know what to do. So I asked some of the nurses to check him out, and no one would. No one would check him out. Nobody would explain anything to me. No one. So I panicked, and I called 911. And it was kind of a frantic 911 call. But none of the nurses wanted to explain anything to me. So all I was trying to do was get my baby help. And I was ridiculed for it. I was ridiculed for it by Susan Castor, the NICU director. Okay? From Methodist Children's Hospital. Her exact words were that I was being ridiculous. Okay, bitch, I'd rather be ridiculous and call 911, even though it may not be necessary, than to think it's nothing and not do anything, not call 911, okay, and then have something happen. So yeah, I'll be ridiculous all fucking day. Okay? Yeah, whatever. You dumb fat bitch, Susan Castor.
Next CPS case. The one that hurt the most.
The one
that hurt the most. See, all these...
that one didn't hurt the most. I want to say, well, I don't know which one hurt the most. They all hurt equally.
For me, this one hurt the most because all of these CPS cases... See, when we got contacted by CPS, the investigator had let us know that this hospital was basically notorious for calling in CPS cases. A lot of them that go nowhere. A ton of them that go nowhere. And that they're pretty much ridiculous. We were no different. All of the CPS cases that were being called on us, they came to our house. They took pictures of our children. They took pictures of our house. All of the cases were coming up with 0 findings. Not one thing was wrong. No, 0 signs of neglect, 0 signs of abuse. So it felt like in a last ditch effort, Dr. Katie Johnson called in another CPS case and basically said that if CPS is not at the house when the twins get home with the parents, that they will have some dead babies on their hands.
Okay, so anyway, going on. Case number 6 was because all the specialists that the babies have to have, which is a retina doctor, the PCP, but he's not a specialist, yeah, he is. Okay, anyway, retina doctor, the pediatrician, high risk, cardiologist. Is that it? What am I missing?
The eye pulmonologist, GI people.
Okay, at the time, pulmonology, eye doctor, cardiologist, high risk, and the pediatrician. Okay, but anyway, the specialist appointments were set up in San Antonio, Texas, from the doctors of Methodist Children's Hospital in San Antonio. Okay, so we went home and we made different visits for their specialist in Corpus Christi, Texas, at Driscoll Children's Hospital.
CPS basically told us that the best thing for us to do is to basically cut all ties with Methodist. So therefore, we went into Driscoll Hospital in Corpus and decided to make follow-up appointments with those specialists.
Okay, anyway. I made their specialist appointments in Corpus Christi at Driscoll Children's Hospital, but I can only do it when Driscoll Children's Hospital has availabilities. You see? Because, when I make the appointment, I can't, even though I need it in 2 weeks, I can't tell them to take somebody else off of their schedule to put me in, because that's not how it works. So I can only do it as soon as they have availabilities. So that's what I did. So I scheduled appointments as soon as they had availabilities, which was 3 and 4 weeks after discharge. Okay? And I'm, yeah, I mean, I get I could have taken him to the specialist in San Antonio, Texas, but at the risk of what? More allegations, accusations, more CPS calls, more aggravation. We were already under a lot of stress. So, and I have that right. I can choose whatever doctor I want. I mean, I guess it wasn't that big of a deal that there was like an extra few days than what Methodist had recommended. Now, it's a recommendation, Methodist. It's not a law. There is no law that says I have to have my twins follow up within 2 weeks because you say, okay? It's a recommendation, okay? Okay? Yeah, it's recommended. You can also recommend some other shit, but anyway, okay, so the seventh case was because the retina specialist himself had called. And not only that, but I believe it was a secretary named Teresa. Yeah, hi, Teresa. Retina specialist from San Antonio, Texas, Methodist Children's Hospital. Okay? Too bad I don't have your last name. But anyway, she called and she told CPS that the twins had retinopathy of prematurity and that they could go blind if not seen every 2 weeks. Now, first of all, the discharge papers say that they are at risk for retinopathy of prematurity. They have not been diagnosed with retinopathy of prematurity. Okay? There's a difference between a risk and a diagnosis. I don't understand how these people can be doctors and have degrees, okay, if they themselves cannot understand this. Alright? And nowhere in the discharge papers does it state that they will go blind if not seen every 2 weeks. Okay? So there's that. So then not only that, but I also did have erratic behavior at this hospital. But, I mean, really, with multiple CPS calls and people, coming to their own assumptions and these wild accusations and everything. I mean, come on. Like, I'm trying to advocate for my kids. I'm trying to speak up. I'm trying to ask questions and figure out what's going on. How am I supposed to take care of these babies? And I want to make sure that I do it properly and I do it the right way. Okay? Now, how am I supposed to do that if I can't ask questions because every time I turn around, I'm getting a damn CPS case? Okay? Doesn't make no sense. So you're telling me that the best way to take care of my kids is to shut my mouth and not say anything, not ask anything? It's better to not know, right? Right. Yeah, I don't care because I'm going to advocate for my kids. I'm going to speak up. And if I feel like they're interfering between bonding between my kids, I'm going to say something. So, and I don't think they like that too much. But whatever. Okay? Just like there's little details in between, but I mean,
We don't have that long.
yeah, we really don't. I mean, because we'll be sitting here for about 2 hours, literally like 2 more hours, so it'll be about a 2.5 hour video. And I know you don't have time for that, or we don't got time for that. But it's just disgusting behavior from this hospital. They want to, they want to put broad information in there about the Percocet and make it look like I was taking Percocet before the babies were born, and that's why they were born so early. When I was anemic, and my medical records say that I was anemic, okay? And CPS even went and got my medical records from my OBGYN, the one I had regular visits with, and I had to pee in a cup every visit. And I'm pretty sure that they drug test the pee when you pee in the cup, okay? So I don't have anything to hide. So I actually told CPS, could you please go get those records? So that way you know that I wasn't doing anything, okay? And my medical records from Methodist Children's Hospital, clear, okay, except for the Norco, okay? But that was prescribed to me. So, but anyway, just the whole atmosphere over there. It's like, I don't know if they got mad because I signed myself out and they're trying to control me or trying to get back at me or what. I don't know. They're like control freaks over there or something. I mean, if you love your kids, okay, do not take them to Methodist Children's Hospital in San Antonio, Texas.
Well,
Don't ever step foot in that hospital.
Well, to be more specific, do not ever take them to the NICU.
So I wouldn't take them to the hospital, like any part of the hospital.
I wouldn't take them to the NICU because the NICU is where we had all the trouble. I can't say anything about the children's side, but the NICU, yeah, I would definitely steer clear of that place. Because after all of these CPS cases, my wife had to go through 2 psych evaluations. She had to have a safety monitor for 2 months, which means
it was 3 months.
Oh, probably 3 months. We had to actually have her mother move into the house because she was not able to be alone with the children at all.
Yeah, because of my erratic behavior with the hospital. But the thing because I was advocating for my kids, because speaking up.
The thing is that the erratic behavior was after the 4th case of 0 findings. So it's like you all are wasting y'all's time trying to find something on us, and we're not doing anything wrong.
And I did tell them one time. I told the Methodist caseworker up there. I told her, I said, I feel like y'all are just fishing. And they probably didn't like that either, so that's probably why they kept calling, but
every case that we've gotten was 0 findings, 0 signs of neglect, 0 signs of abuse. So anything that they were looking for, there was nothing there. So when that one case hit saying that she had to have a safety monitor, we asked why, and CPS said, well, these doctors are trained professionals, but it's like, well, all of the cases that they've called in have showed up negative. So, I mean, I don't think it should matter that they're medical professionals. I mean, everything that they've apparently called in already has showed up 0. So why would this be any different?
And I don't know the legality of this or whatever, but I was never under Johnson's care. She is a neonatologist, okay? She's a neonatal doctor, okay? And I was never under her care. She didn't do the C-section. She wasn't my OBGYN during the pregnancy. Like I said before, she doesn't know my history. She doesn't know what medications I'm on. She has no idea. So she should have no authority to diagnose me with postpartum or to say that I'm going to kill my kids or whatever. Really? It sounds stupid. Like, you're just, like, desperately trying to... I don't know. Trying to get back at me for something going off on them, but, I mean, I can't... I mean, these are my kids. Okay? And, I mean, I started going off on the 4th case. Okay? I mean, after several cases, I felt like it didn't matter what I said or how I acted. They were going to keep calling CPS, and I felt like I didn't want to sit in a corner and not say anything. Okay? I felt like if they're going to go to CPS, then I'm going to give them peace of my mind. Okay? I know it sounds kind of stupid, but, I mean, also at the time, I had other things going on, like hormones from having a baby. Just this whole hospital, the whole experience was disgusting. Disgusting. And I remember that security guard that got in my face. Yeah, that was horrible. Like, really?
It's like
It's like Susan Castor, the NICU director, didn't have the balls to do it herself. She didn't have the balls to get in my face or tell me anything. She didn't want to, she had to send her little minion security guard to go after me. The security guard is like twice my fucking size. Okay? And you're gonna send him to do your barking orders? Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Okay? And that was for the 911 call. Really? So you basically bullied me because I called 911 for my child. You're pathetic. You're pathetic, Methodist. Okay. Anyway. That's all you want to add, right?
That's all I got. Just try to be careful if y'all do go to Methodist. Please mind your P's and Q's, because you are being watched and you are being judged the whole time you're there.
Yes, and also they probably get a sick thrill out of calling CPS. They must be bored or something over there. It's terribly boring over there because they got to find something to call CPS for. Because I mean, they got to have that excitement, you know. Like I don't know, but all right. Thank you for listening, and
See ya.
bye bye.